Hi, Veritas. My name is Pastor Kayla Cockrell, and I have the opportunity of leading our education department and the gathering here in Houston, Texas. And I'm excited to share with all of you on this Holy Week, which is a time where we get to celebrate the last days of Jesus' life in reflection and prayer. And today is Holy Tuesday. Holy Tuesday remembers the day that Jesus curses a fig tree and it withers down to the root. Israel, and in particular her priests and temple, were God's intended plan to extend his love and his blessings to all nations. But the priests of Jesus' day made it impossible for foreigners to worship God. The faith of the religious elite had departed from its original purpose and now was a dead religion. Yesterday, we remembered how Jesus, with a whip in hand, challenged the religious establishment of Israel. Like Jesus, the prophets of the Hebrew Bible often spoke against Israel's priests and their leadership of the temple. Many, like the prophet Micah, described them as diseased trees that from a distance look healthy, but close up are rotten and infertile. So the next morning, when Jesus sees a fig tree with no fruit on it, he curses it, and it withers and dies. It's a prophetic symbol to his disciples that the current leadership of Israel's temple has forgotten its purpose. It is corrupt, dead, and must be destroyed. The disciples miss the symbolism and only ask God why the fig tree withered so quickly. Jesus replies, "Truly, I tell you, if you have faith and do not doubt, not only can you do what was done to the fig tree, but also you can say to this mountain, 'Go and throw yourself into the sea,' and it will be done." But Jesus isn't explaining how the disciples can go and curse their own fig tree or throw their own problems into the ocean. He's telling them how the religious establishment of Israel will fall. When the disciples pray in faith, the mountain that the temple is built on will crumble. And through the disciples' faith, Israel's corrupt leadership will fall. Jesus has come to cleanse the temple of its dead religion, and Jesus expects his disciples to share in that responsibility. They are part of his rebellion against the corrupt religious status quo. In the verses following today's passage, the religious leaders question what right does Jesus have to claim an end to the temple system. And Jesus responds over and over again with stories and parables that reveal their corruption. And then, like the prophets before him, he predicts the destruction of Israel's temple by an invading army. The religious leaders can't take it anymore, and they continue in their schemes to kill Jesus. Holy Tuesday is good news because Jesus announces the end of a corrupt religious order and the dawning of a new global people of God. And more than that, he invites us to join him in both cursing dead religion and creating a new, indestructible church. And Jesus says the way we do both, battle and build, is through prayer. That when we ask God in faith to tear down dead religion, he will. And when we ask God to build in its place a global church that cannot be destroyed, he will do that too. And God guarantees these prayers will be answered in Jesus' death and resurrection. Because Jesus dies, we know that all dead religion will one day be judged for its failures. But because Jesus rose from the dead, we know that in its place, Jesus is making a new temple called the church that can never be destroyed, not even by death. So I pray that on this Holy Tuesday, you will accept that Jesus is creating a new religious order in us, and that by faith, we can join Jesus in tearing down corrupt religious systems and in their place build a church that death, corruption, or the schemes of men will never destroy.